I'm Lieutenant. The next update at 1:30. Breaking news as it happens. News Talk Radio, CJ 8800.
The insight you need on the big stories of the week. This is Viewpoints with Todd Vanderhagen. Thousands of people, if not more, families, young children, babies, trying to save their own lives, fleeing their home countries, primarily places, yes, like Syria and Iraq, but also Afghanistan, other parts of Africa as well. The reason is simple. Their countries are falling apart. Civil war violence, destruction, bombings, terrorism, disease, really, in some cases, the collapse of society itself. And they, like any of us, like you and me, are hoping to get the heck out before it's too late to save their own lives, the lives of their children. You can understand that. Some have fled to Turkey and Jordan in the region. Others are trying to make the very risky journey to the west, to Western Europe, Germany in particular, where they think they're finally going to be safe. These people, by the way, have got nothing left, okay? Think about this. They're hungry, they're tired, they've been turned into beggars and homeless by circumstance. It is a awful and humiliating situation for anyone to be in. And many of us, of course, saw that wrenching photo of little 3-year-old Kurdi laying dead on a beach in Turkey, drowned as his family was trying to get from Syria to Europe, maybe one day even onward to Canada, because the family does have a Canadian connection with his aunt living in British Columbia. Sometimes it takes one photo to turn all of those statistics into reality for some people. Remember, though, there are thousands of other kids like Ellen out there following their parents into the unknown. Europe has been struggling with 3 major crises in the past year. The war in Ukraine, the Greek economic crisis and collapse, and now this migrant crisis, this refugee crisis. We are seeing different countries react differently. Germany, perhaps, in part for historic reasons, stepping up and opening its borders to some of these people. Although German officials, quite frank, saying, you know what, this is a temporary solution. We can't take everyone. Overall, though, in Europe, there's a kind of chaotic lack of a plan here. There's no unified plan. That's not helping. Meantime, tens of thousands of more people are coming. Some of them end up drowning in the Mediterranean, like Kurdi, or thousands of others who drowned this week trying to get across. The boats capsizing, going down, or, in some cases, suffocating in the back of a van on a highway in Austria, as we saw a couple of weeks ago, more than 70 people dying that way. My guest joining me on the line, a man who's been on the program many times before, Randall Hansen with the University of Toronto. He's an expert, I would say, in European affairs. Randall, welcome back to the program.
Thank you, John.
What is your viewpoint on this crisis?
Well, I mean, you've covered some of the ground. I think two points are to be made here. The first is that Europe absolutely needs to do more. The behavior of the Hungarian government at the moment is absolutely revolting. Germany needs to be the model. Berlin needs to be the model, not Budapest. That said, as much as is done in Europe and in Canada, where really nothing has been done for the moment, the problem won't be solved there. The problem will have to be solved in the Middle East itself. And I actually don't mean this simple nonsense about dealing with the root causes, many of which, incidentally, the West caused, but rather the majority of refugees are in Turkey and in Lebanon and in Jordan.
What about that issue, Randall, of these root causes? And we've heard Stephen Harper say this, whether we're talking about the Syrian civil war or what's going on in Iraq, even in Afghanistan. You've got the Taliban. In Africa, for example, Eritrea, you've got